What's up? I'm Justice.
And I'm Joe.
And this is The Guest Room, where we have casual, candid, and occasionally cutthroat conversations.
This episode, we're talking about the impact of kids on our lives.
That's from conception to newborns, all the way to little humans.
So whether you're all in on the fence or you ended up here by accident,
welcome to our guest room.
All right, so we're back with another hot take. This one was me, a mother of three, saying kids ruin you. And it wouldn't be a hot take if we didn't include a poll, because I know there's people out there who've got thoughts. Maybe they don't want to share them, but they might participate in a poll. So poll results this week were that 75% of you said kids ruin you. 75% agreed.
Which is new. It's new for us. Typically, we're like 50-50.
Our comment section reflected that most people were like, yeah, they do. But 25% of you guys said, no, they don't. Girl, you're tweaking. And so we're going to get into that. I'm going to share a little bit more about kind of where that was coming from and just kind of unpack some of these comments. So let's just hop into it.
Let's do it. Comment number 1. So basically, don't have kids. Got it? Which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
Based on this, either they have kids and they're making a joke, or they don't have kids and they are also making a joke. I think it's clear that it's a joke.
Yeah.
But what they took from what you said is, don't have kids. Thanks. I'm not interested in having a ruined life. What would you say to that, Joe?
I would say that I get it. I get it. If I knew everything that I knew today, I don't know that I would not have kids, but I might have waited longer to have kids. I might have just done some things differently because I had this idea in my head, like when I become a mom, I'm going to be adding this baby to my life. And yes, there's going to be some sacrifice, some changes on my side, but I was greatly unaware of the sacrifice and the change that would have to occur in me even before the child was here. Like, I was prepared for change of people. Another comment mentioned the teenage years. I heard those horror stories. I heard those war stories. What no one I don't hear a lot of stories about is perinatal depression. And I was very depressed.
Can you explain to the people what perinatal is?
So there is postpartum we hear a lot about, which is, after you've had the baby, that season that comes after it. And I think they say you're postpartum technically up until around the 2-year mark of it takes about 2 years after having a baby to really come back into the new version of yourself.
Yeah, and to feel like you're grounded.
Yes. And I can attest that has kind of been true for me in this. But going back to my first, I knew about that. So I was on guard for that. I was wary of that. The doctors told him, she's probably not going to recognize the signs of postpartum depression or anxiety. That's kind of going to be your job. Your support system is going to have to sound the alarm on that, because she probably won't have a reference for, this is abnormal. But what was not mentioned to me is that can happen before you even have a baby. And I now know that that's what I was suffering with, because I was very depressed. I thought, I'm
laughing
just so
because
sick.
I'm revisiting,
and it gives light
moment.
to. It was a very rough season. To give a little bit of our story, we had our first child about 5 months after we got pregnant with our first child about 5 months after we got married.
Intentionally.
Yes, and it was desired. We were excited about it. And I think we were both ready or prepared for what it took to take care of a child. I don't think we were prepared for the impact on our relationship and on just our individual beings.
And there's so many instances where, whether it be grandparents or parents or other people with kids saying, don't have kids because you're not going to sleep the same, or don't have kids because you're going to have to share your ice cream, little things like that. And of course, all of these people have kids. So they're not saying these things from a place of kids are awful and don't have kids. They're saying, wait. That's pretty much across the board. The advice that we received was, wait, don't do it because your life's going to be different. But all of the things that they told us was postpartum. And specifically, the advice they gave were things that we felt we would be fine with.
I have no problem sharing my ice cream.
Yeah,
like that, that just, he operates naturally on about 6 hours of sleep very easily. So the things that people like warn you of were not wary for us.
But what they didn't warn us about.
We think kids are a gift. They're a joy. We love ours. We enjoy ours. And we would not change the decision to have kids, right? I think we would have gone about it differently, maybe had different supports in place, understanding some of the things that I needed to get through pregnancy, some of the choices that we made the first go round that we would do differently if we did it again.
I'm going to interject there. I don't know if I'd do it differently, this is funny, right? This is real time. She's the one that wanted all them jokers. And I was like...
I wanted one.
Okay.
I was unaware. It's a gateway.
Right. And so she asked me, verbatim, do you want to have kids? She knew that I'm fine with having kids, but right now, can we have kids right now in the moment, 4 years ago? And I prayed on it, and it was more like, I don't know if I'm ready. But the funny part is, hearing her speak on this and you saying, do you think you do it differently and da-da-da-da? I don't actually think that I do it differently.
Wild work.
The only thing that I wish is that somebody would have said, pregnancy's hard. I feel like as far as having our kids has gone, it's been difficult, but I wouldn't do it differently. But I wish that I knew what I knew now back then in regard to pregnancy. My wife literally changed. Mind you, we're only 5 months into marriage. So I'm thinking, what have I done? Not in the baby, but like, is this what I've married? And it's not that I wouldn't have stuck it out with her. Of course I would have, through thick and thin, rich or poor, we made those vows. It wasn't to the point of like, I need to divorce her, but it really was what is wrong? And I didn't know because we were so freshly married. I had no clue what was going on. And I remember we went to a doctor appointment, and the doctor says, what you're experiencing is normal. The light at the end of the tunnel is delivery. And we both were like, there's no way. This is awful. And sure enough, it was like the day of when you finally gave birth.
It was like,
for me, it was like, oh, that's my wife.
Yeah.
That's who I married.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that there aren't instances where your wife goes through a time or your husband goes through a time that isn't recoverable. I can't imagine what that's like because it was very hard for me. But all that to say, for me, I actually wouldn't change the decisions we made. I just wish somebody had said, pregnancy might be the hardest thing y'all ever have done. And not having kids is the hardest thing you've ever done.
Yes, I wish somebody would have said that. I think what I'm saying, what I would have done differently is not saying like, oh, I want to have kids or not have kids. I think I would have, some of the decisions I made where I chose not to take medicine for how sick I was, like the nausea, the vomiting, struggling to gain weight because I'm not eating enough, and now I'm stressed because of the doctors. Some of those decisions where I was just like, no, I'm not going to do this because it's going to hurt the baby. I wish I would have just had a little more grounding or knowledge because I think if I would have just, for example, taken the medicine for nausea, that would have eased a lot of the sickness because now I'm physically feeling better. I'm able to eat. I'm able to drink, which would have alleviated a lot of the problems and stress that I had on my mind that were contributing to the depressive state. And feeling trapped in my body because I stopped exercising. I stopped doing those types of things because I was so miserable, so sick, and that was draining life from me. And in a very neutral way, like to grow a child with inside of your body, they're draining from you. Like you were their life source. And so to have that happening on the inside, but then to also not have anything like bringing life back into me, literally, because I'm not eating enough food, I'm not exercising, I'm not doing these things that contribute to my well-being. I think I created a cycle by refusing to receive help from doctors, from family members, and their wisdom in some of those ways.
Yeah, it makes sense. The second comment said, so true, I never had morning sickness or any other pregnancy symptom. I was just sleepy all the time. I felt the need to bring that up in this moment because you spoke on how you did have nausea. You were drained. And this individual says they didn't have those things. And yet, she said, it's true, kids ruin you.
Hers was just different.
She didn't have nausea. She didn't have these other pregnancy symptoms. And yet, she said, I slept all the time. And that was a form of ruining, right? And so, if I can swing it back to the greater conversation, at the end of the day, what you're not saying for all of our viewers is that kids ruin lives. What you are saying is kids ruin the life that you had. Going forward, they have every opportunity to be joy bringers. Kids have every opportunity to discover yourself, absolutely. And if you thought that you would be able to hold on to your life exactly the way that it was before babies, and then have babies and keep holding on to that thing, your plans, your life, your state of mind will be ruined. The longer you hold on to it, the potentially the deeper the ruin will be.
Yeah.
And so then when you let go, there's a little bit of shakiness of like, what is happening? It's kind of existential, if we're being honest. And then eventually there's this grounding moment. It's different for different people. For some people, it's as soon as they look at that baby. You know, we have a friend that just had a kid, and they were like, no, as soon as I looked in her eyes, it was just like, okay, yeah, this is my girl. That wasn't it for us.
I felt a deep sense of responsibility to like protect our children, to care for them well. I didn't feel this deep sense of like,
this is it.
Everything.
It's
like,
my baby.
I felt really excited to get to know them and for them to get to know me.
Yeah.
But that's as far as it went. And then that love built over time where it was like, oh no, I love this Joker.
Yeah.
And I think with every kid it got faster because we knew what was coming. But with our first kid, it was like, I don't know you.
And for me, it was because obviously they breastfed with you. For me, I did not have that instant, I'm holding you, this is it. But if there was anything that was instant for me, it was going chest to chest.
Yeah, that was your...
So like, just like, boom. Like, that's my child. This is my child. I'm going to take care of them now. You know, it's like, I'm going to do this. And I'll never be able to sleep the same. Like, from this point forward, my sleep will be impacted because this creature is in the world.
But admittedly, you like them sleeping
I love
on your
it.
chest.
Oh, yeah, I love
you
it.
would gladly sacrifice your sleep if I let you sleep with them on your chest every night.
Would.
It doesn't work now that we have 3, but this man's a co-sleeper through and through.
She ain't let me be.
And
I would have been.
His wife likes her bed to herself, so I took that. But that cuddling has always been your thing. And I think breastfeeding probably is what like bonded me to them.
Which is God's design. I mean,
literally.
The hormones, the oxytocin,
Once that clicks, it was like, okay, who's that nurse? Why are you looking at my child? Why are you taking them? But it does take that. Like, they don't come out, and I'm like...
So fascinating.
I'm just like, whoa, that's a baby.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I love it.
Oh, what I was going to offer was that I think my naivety going towards, like, the comment of saying, like, don't have kids is like, no, if you have that desire in you, like, go for it. But no, what I did not realize is that I thought the changes that would happen to me were all external or mostly external. And I Because up
like
until
your belly and maybe putting on weight or losing weight.
My schedule, my routine, all of these external factors.
That's good.
I did not consider the internal impact of having a child.
That's good.
Outside, like, yes, the internal physiological internal impact, but the changes that happen in my mind, in my heart, the way I think about things, the things I love, the things I don't love, the things that I do love but don't really work in this season, but I'm willing to give it up because it's for your benefit. I was not prepared for the gravity of some of those decisions and the weight of what it would feel like to say, I love this, but I love you so much more that I'm willing to let this go, even if it's not forever, but it is for this season. So that's what I would offer, is that's where I went. I was naive, and why when the ruin started to happen, it felt so uncomfortable and out of body because I was just unaware. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get less sleep. Yeah, I'm going to have to think about what school they go to. Yeah, I'm going to have to, plan for somebody else to eat. But I didn't consider how much work would be done in me
just had a thought.
To be their parent.
Many people talk about the lack of sleep, but they connect it to the fact that the baby's awake. What people don't talk about is sometimes you don't sleep even when the baby is asleep. Yeah. Many people talk about how you'll gain weight, but they always associate the gaining weight with growing a baby. What they don't talk about is sometimes women gain weight even once the baby's out, or even if you're not eating. Yeah. I think if I'm hearing you, the connections to the ruining, the changes taking place, again, going back to that initial advice, people spoke on things are going to change, but they didn't say the things that were changing were actually not, what's the right word? It wasn't as fully dependent on the baby as they made it seem like. Even if, God forbid, but even if you would have lost the baby, a lot of changes would have still taken place in your body and your mind without the baby even there. And I think that is, at least for me, I, for a long time, was expecting the baby to be the source of sleepless nights, et cetera, et cetera. Like, no, it's just being a parent at this point.
And that's why I say it starts at conception. Because we talk about a baby when the baby is physically here. And that's where I can't blame anyone, but if I could blame an imaginary person, where I felt set up for failure. Yeah. Because I thought, I'm good till this baby is here. And that's just, that was not my story. Yeah. As you can see, everybody has a different experience with it, even amongst our friend groups. Yep. Our birth stories, our pregnancy experiences, our parenting experience have all been wildly different. So yeah. Yeah.
That's good. And I wonder if there's anybody in the comments or watching right now or listening right now, if you've given people advice and you said, hey, your sleep's going to change. I'm interested, right? Are you saying those things from a place of the baby is creating those changes, or simply parenthood creates those changes? Because the other side of things is we could have just not perceived what they were saying. Like they could have been saying exactly what we're saying right now, but our child, we weren't children, but our more immature minds in the realm of parenthood had no way of conceiving what they were talking about.
That's fair.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So y'all let us know, especially if you've had kids or if you've been people to give advice to others. I want to know, when you give advice, is your advice more tailored to the baby or tailored to parenthood? Does that make sense? Yeah. So let us know. Let us know. Our third comment, I'm liking the authenticity of this. Speaking about our hot takes in our podcast, mixed review, they don't ruin you, they being babies, they don't ruin you, but they definitely strip you of yourself. Having kids so young, I lost myself. I had to figure out who I was as an adult once they were older. It's been an interesting journey, but the sacrifice is unmatched. Powerful.
Yeah. I can 100% agree. The sacrifice is unmatched. As hard as it is some days, I would not trade my kids or my role in their life for anything. Like, there's no better investment of my time, like, of my energy, of my brain capacity, of my ability to research. Like, every gift, talent, and ability I have to invest it into my kids is an investment I know won't return void. And I mean that with whatever outcome my kids have. I can say with confidence I don't regret giving this time of my life to them.
Yeah.
So I can agree with that.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
I wonder how many people have a legacy mindset when it comes to kids. What I mean by that, right? Scripture says that, what is it? I think it's a good man or a wise man, one of the two, leaves an inheritance for his children's children, right? There's this legacy mindset that takes place in Scripture. And even outside of the kingdom, like we see that, like the passing on of wealth. Yeah. But I wonder if, especially mothers, I wonder if there's this idea of, maybe this is a better way to question it. How simple is it for moms to step into that legacy mindset? Like when you had your baby and you realized your life was being ruined, of course it was hard, but how easy was it for you to get into the mindset which was, I'm willing to do it because the return on interest is that awesome. Like she says, the sacrifice is unmatched. How do you get into that mindset? Because here's the thing, not everybody has that mindset. For sure. So what do you think is the differentiation between those who are able to make that leap into the legacy mindset? It's their well-being over mine. Not that my well-being is unimportant, but I'm willing to make some sacrifices for their good. What's the difference between that mom and that dad and the mom and dad that's not willing to make that sacrifice?
I feel like there could be a lot of factors, honestly. I think for me, I think it's because I've seen that example in some ways modeled in my parents. I've seen it modeled in your parents. So to take that and go one step further which this is kind of a whole nother conversation. There is, I feel like, an undertone, at least within our families. I don't know if this is, you guys can let us know in the broader community. Sometimes I feel like specifically in the Black community, though, there is this undercurrent of pressure to do better than the generation before you.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm glad you brought that up. To get a little bit farther.
Oh yeah, if my parents made it to the third rung on the ladder,
then I need to get it at least to the fourth. I have to
get to the fourth, and it's not just my desire. They will straight up say, my dad has said, I went to college, I got my bachelor's, I got my master's. Yeah. So you need to get your doctorate. Yes. Because you need to do better than me. It's across the board. It's like we need to see our family constantly moving up. Yeah. So I feel like at least in my life, that's part of it, is I've seen how your dad brought it up a level. Same story on my side of, just the age that our parents grew up in. So I think some of it, that ease of transition or to sacrifice in that way it's a cultural expectation. Sure. It's a familial expectation. So you're being encouraged, you're being supported to do those things. And I think another factor, at least for me, is that I'll say this first. I think the less self-centered or selfish of a person you are, probably the easier that step is. And I don't mean that as no, say that again. Back it up. I think the less selfish or self-centered of a person you are, the easier that transition is. Okay. And I don't mean that as a shame point, because I think you need to invest in yourself, to honor yourself, to take care of yourself, to take care of your kids well. This is an area that I struggle, that I'm trying to grow in. But I think that's part of why the transition was so easy, is because
my personality, my greatest desire is to serve other people.
That's good.
And so that's
really
just
good.
naturally how I'm wired. I'm looking for ways to make it easier for other people.
That's good.
I'm typically the person in the background. Like, this is very out of my comfort zone. Like, most people don't hear me talk that often because I'm in the background. Like that's just me.
Yeah.
So I think that also made it easier because to have kids that are just so vulnerable, it's just like, if I would get food for you, what do you mean I wouldn't get food for a child? Like, what do you mean I wouldn't give what I have so that they can have a full belly or whatever?
Yeah.
So I think that also plays a factor. And the third thing I would say is that, kind of going to that vulnerability point, is that when I see kids, I see vulnerability. And as an adult, while yes, there are circumstances where I am vulnerable, where I could be unsafe, when I just look at kids, I'm like, oh, we have to take care of them. We have to do whatever we have to do to take care of them.
Yeah.
Because I'm an adult now. So I'm going to take care of me, but there's nobody looking out for them. So we have to, like, we're it. We're the stop before the flood. Like, we are it for them. So if we don't advocate for them, if we don't make it happen for them,
Yeah. That's good.
then it's not that they can't, but it makes it all the harder. So that's my kind of off the dome thoughts. But I think there is probably a lot to that.
I'm sure there's several factors. It's good though. It's good. And I mean, just to give some nuance to it, right? To tell you a little bit about us, my wife is true to everything that she just said. She is going to be very selfless when it comes to her children, our children, and sometimes it backfires. And what I mean by that is, even though she was able to make that leap very easily into selflessness, to give to them, to give to me. Let's just take clothes, for instance. She'll spend $100 on my children, even though they don't really need new clothes. They needed new clothes. And then when she goes in the closet, she's like, I don't really have anything. And it's not just girl talk. Like, she actually needs more clothes, right? And what's going on here, she could have split it, in my opinion, 50-50, 75-25. To get something for yourself, but she won't get anything for herself. So even though that leap into the generational thought was profound, and in the case, it actually benefited them heavily by being able to make that leap so easily. It also made it more susceptible for you to be forgotten.
Which is already something I struggle with.
Yeah.
So it was just a prime opportunity.
Yeah, it's good. Very good. Thank you for that comment. I thought that was really powerful.
Did we answer all of it?
It wasn't really, it was more of a statement of just the idea of losing yourself. I think that has to happen. And going to even what you said, to more selfish individuals, whether you are selfish or whether you just have selfish categories of life, right? Not necessarily sinfully selfish, but just more self-centered. I think there is an aspect of, as I've already stated, you will have to lose who you thought you were.
But it's it's kind of funny. The word says that children are like an inheritance from the Lord. The whole premise of a life with Christ, or to be in relationship with God, is to give your life, like to forsake your life for a life with Him. So I think it's kind of cool to see that happens in the natural when we have kids.
It's good.
And kids maybe are a mode of sanctification, right?
That's good.
Of another opportunity to strip,
be purified. Lord, help me, God.
To become more like Christ.
Yeah.
They are, if they are an inheritance, like we think of inheritance, it's like this is a gift to you.
But it's also a big responsibility. Yeah.
And as we see with the Lord, His gifts are great. And they come with great responsibility.
That's good. That's really good.
So I think that's interesting. We framed it as like, oh, I've lost myself. And I've even said this. I said this to my therapist just like a few weeks ago in therapy. And she was like, but isn't there an element to that in motherhood? Like to kind of set yourself aside for them. And I think framed it as like, oh, you've lost yourself. You need to go find yourself. And you do.
Mm-hmm. What if it's just, I've lost myself.
Yeah.
I need to go find myself.
I get to discover who I am today.
Yeah.
Like, I've lost who I was yesterday.
Yeah.
And I have the opportunity to discover who I am today. Who I want to become.
Rediscovery.
Yeah.
As opposed to recovery. Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah.
I like that. Comment 4, same baseline concept. Becoming a parent completely changes your life. So that's in response to what you said.
Yeah.
So same concept, but said in a more positive packaging. Here's the new quote that they gave. The moment a child is born, the mother is also born. The moment a child is born, that child's mother too is born. Speak on that. You're a mom.
I think, well, I should probably preface. I have a very dark sense of humor. I tend to operate on the more realist / pessimistic side of things. So anytime you hear me talking, it's gonna come probably with a dark turn to it, or a maybe a more realist, like very cutthroat, no bars held. Like it's gonna be cut and dry pretty. So I can go for the positive packaging, and if that's your feng shui, I totally get it. It's just not my personality.
Meanwhile, I'm very optimistic.
Yeah, he's the opposite side of that. So
I loved this packaging personally.
Yes.
I loved it.
It's less fun for me, but I definitely get the positive packaging, especially in this day and age when you have artists like Chappell Roan who are pooping on motherhood, on kids. I definitely get.
I know who it is. I don't know what she said.
She had an interview. She made a comment, essentially suggesting she's never seen a happy mother. Like,
dang.
And so, like, the moms came after her, right? Because they're like, girl, you ain't have no kids.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? So I definitely get it in this day and age, in this culture, that the packaging that I delivered it in could potentially add to that conversation in a negative way. But
yeah,
all to being a realist as well, the positive packaging doesn't work for my personality.
Sure.
Like, I want you to be as cutthroat, as straightforward with me as possible so that I can digest it.
Yeah.
But I understand that's not everybody's thing. But I totally get how positive packaging could be a more beneficial approach.
And I would even say, because I do like the positive packaging,
Yeah.
I would even say, to get it even closer to what you originally said, to what the point of the hot take was, I would say, instead of the moment that a child is born, the mother is born, I would say, based on what you said, the moment a child is conceived, a mother is born. Or would you say the mother is conceived? No, I think it's when a child is conceived, the mother is born. So even if, unfortunately, your baby miscarries and you don't even make it to birth, you were still a mother. Yes. And you still experienced life change.
Correct.
In utero.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I would say is, like, yeah, motherhood begins the minute you conceive, in my opinion, you become a mother, because you begin to have to make decisions like, am I going to eat this can of tuna today? The doctor said I really shouldn't be eating this much tuna. Am I going to eat that sandwich today? The doctor says I really shouldn't be eating cold deli meat. Mm-hmm. Oh, I really want that glass of wine that I usually have at bedtime. I'm not really supposed to be drinking anymore because I'm pregnant. Yeah. So you're already making decisions that change your lifestyle,
that's
the things
good.
that you enjoy, and your child is just in there cooking. They're just in there.
So motherhood, in your mind, in the realist mind, and maybe the slightly more negative mind, motherhood begins the moment that sacrifice begins. No, maybe not. Maybe not quite. Because technically, even if you're not a sacrificial,
you're still a mother.
You're still a mother.
You made a choice to not sacrifice.
Yeah.
I really think the minute.
So it's just the opportunity. The minute that you have the opportunity.
There you go.
To sacrifice.
The
minute parenthood
the
begins.
minute you the minute you conceive, you have the opportunity to be a mother.
That's good.
You may not choose to be, right? We see that in our...
Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now.
Okay.
Let's go.
Because we see that in this world, right?
That's good.
Like, unfortunately, we have a whole foster care system. We have a whole system in place for people who said no thank you.
That's good.
For whatever reason.
Yeah. No shame, no shade.
No shame.
Yep.
There is no... It's just, that's the choice you made.
Yeah.
And thank God there's a system and there's people that get to fill in the gap and say they said no thank you, I'll say yes.
Yeah.
But that was their choice.
Yeah.
No thank you.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest, I get it.
Yeah.
Because when I was pregnant with my first, I wanted to say no thank you. I had to come clean with my husband and my sister, and I was like, here's the thing. I'm down so bad that I don't want to be here anymore, if you catch my drift. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this anymore. This was a bad idea. I don't like it. I don't like what's happening, and I want it to stop. Unfortunately, if you know anything about pregnancy, you know there's one or two ways out of that thing. And so I had to look at the father of my child and say, yeah, can we go with option B? Mm-hmm. Can we go with option B? Mm-hmm. And he and my family, and my sister was wise enough to say, hey, I've been there too. Well, he didn't say that. My sister said, hey, I've been there too. Be reminded that you do have that choice, that you could choose that pathway. And on the other side, the other pathway, you could also go the way I went and look at your nieces, look at your nephews, look at the life that you have with them. No, I was there too, where I wanted to choose another way out. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that I didn't, because now I have these kids, but I get where you're at, and I want you to know that you have the choice. It's not the choice that I would make, but you have the choice. And that was a very freeing moment for me when I realized that I have a choice in this.
Right. It's not just a prison. Parenthood is not a prison.
I have a choice. I get to decide, am I going to continue with this pathway? Am I going to continue to show up? And every point you have a choice, right?
And it's oh my gosh, it's the same as when you see Adam and Eve in the garden. God didn't put them in a prison. He put them in a garden. What's the difference? The garden had the option of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It's not, God doesn't want them to choose that tree, but he gives them the option. Why? So that they can choose otherwise. But as long as there's no alternative option, are you really making a good choice? There's
no choice.
There's no choice. You're just living in the prison. You don't get choices.
They set your schedule. They decide what you eat, where you sleep, what you wear. Like, there's just...
Yeah. And so if we equate that to the pregnancy, in this case, because it's not like we didn't want to go through that other method, that was the tree of knowledge of good and evil, for lack of better words. And recognizing I don't want to do it, but it is there, was actually freeing for you. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Because it is no longer a prison. It was a choice you got to make.
Yes.
As opposed to you being locked in a container with no choices at all.
Correct.
So you chose to keep this baby.
Yes.
As opposed
Before
to feeling.
I had a choice, I felt like I was suffocating.
Yeah.
I felt like I was drowning. Like I was going under and something was pulling me.
Yeah.
And the minute I realized I had a choice, I was like, oh yeah, I know how to swim. Oh wait, I'm just wading in the water.
Yeah.
And there is a storm. The waves are crazy, but I know how to swim.
And I chose to stay in the water.
And I'm choosing to continue swimming.
It's good.
I don't have to, but I am.
But you're going to.
And I don't want to dismiss the fact that you also had to sit with the reality that that's where your wife was.
For sure.
And to kind of connect it full circle, I now know that I was experiencing depression within the context of pregnancy and not just postpartum, because I didn't have postpartum depression. I was free after that.
Yep.
But within the context of pregnancy, I was drowning, and I just wish that maybe I had more knowledge that, hey, you need to be on guard in pregnancy too. That there's going to be some things that could come at you, some feelings, some thoughts that you might have that you might need more support for that.
Yeah.
So.
Amen. Comment 5. Oh my. Stripping you from the point of conception. Don't let me get started on the preteen and teenage years.
I've heard some horror stories.
I think this is a fun one to end on.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't have teenagers. Our oldest is 4, turning 5 in February.
Yeah.
Our middle child is turning 3 in 1 month. It's crazy. And then our youngest turns 2 in December. So we don't know the preteen or the teenage years. But we've heard lots of stories. I've seen what hormones do in this body, this very mature body with a very mature brain.
Yeah.
I have watched her go whoop, whoop, and I'm like, whoa. And she's like, what just happened? I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I mean, I'm sure my mom will get in the comment section if I say this, but I don't vividly remember my hormonal days of teenagership.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
No. And I only had sisters, and we're raising boys, so I am totally out of my depth. And secretly, I'm hoping that it's not going to be too intense for us, because they're boys. And
But it's 3 of them.
yeah,
Close.
maybe that's naive. If you're raising boys, please let me know. Do I have another world coming? Because here's the thing.
Let
I
me
like
know.
to be prepared.
Listen, it's like we already said.
You don't have to scare me. Just let me know in the back of my mind.
We don't
I'm
need
stocking up
you.
tips.
We don't need you to say it's going to be hard. We want to know what's going to be hard in the same way.
Examples. You can slide in my DMs if you don't want your child's business out there, but I want actuals, not just it'll be hard. I know it's hard now.
Like I have one thought that came to mind. Someone from our church said that one of his boys was swinging a bat, and one of the brothers came around the corner and wham, and like lost. Luckily they were baby teeth, but lost several teeth, and they came in screaming, "There's blood!" And it's funny. Obviously, they're healthy now, but I'm not ready for that. That's the kind of stories I need. So this is a slightly different way. There will be blood. I'm hoping there's no hospital visits, but I know there will be blood. Lord have mercy. But all that to be said, we want to end in a different way this go around, add some more conversation. Yeah. And so what we want is what we've already alluded to, and that is give some advice. This is a conversation. We want this to be a dialogue. Yeah. So for those of you in the comment section right now, and for those of you who are maybe coming later, right, what is a piece of advice that you think someone can glean from, right? Whether it's YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I want you to drop what you consider something that you wish someone would have told you, knowing that that little piece of advice buried somewhere in the comments of strangers' videos could very well give life to someone reading that comment the next day, the next year. Who knows when they'll find it? But I believe that God can move in that way. So drop a comment both for us and also for the other people watching and listening right now. Let us know. Let us know what advice you would give to parents or potential parents, soon to be parents, that you wish you would have gotten. I think that's all we got.
Yep.
Hey, thank you guys for listening as always. I'm excited to see what advice you guys give. And as always, see you guys next time in the guest room.